Mr. King, I know some of you are asking today, how long will all of this take? Somebody's asking, how long will prejudice blind the minds and the vision of men and women, darken their understanding, and drive bright-eyed wisdom from her throne? Somebody's asking, when will wounded justice lying prostrate on the streets be lifted from this dust of shame to reign supreme among the children of men and women? Somebody's asking, when will the radiant star of hope be plunged against the nocturnal bosom of this lonely night, plucked from weary souls with chains of fear and manacles of death? How long will justice be crucified and truth buried? I come to say to each of you this morning, this minute, this hour, that it won't be long, Boston, because true crushed to earth will rise again. How long? Not long, because Boston, no lie, can live forever. How long? Not long, Boston, because you shall reap what you sow. How long? Not long, because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. How long, Boston? Not long. I ask you tonight to repeat after me: boycott Faneuil Hall. Boycott Faneuil Hall. Boycott Faneuil Hall. Thank you very much.
Word. Boycott Faneuil Hall. Boycott
Faneuil Hall.
Boycott
Faneuil Hall.
Boycott
Faneuil Hall.
Word, Pete. That's facts. We also got a boycott. I mean, I feel like the entire city of Boston, because there's white supremacy riddled underneath every single building here, right? We have Codman Square, named after General Codman. They call it Codman Square because his slaves killed him, and they felt sorry for him, so they named it Codman Square. End of story, right? I used to teach at a school called the Oliver Wendell Holmes. Oliver Wendell Holmes was a scientific racist, right? And that school inhabits black and brown students, right? And it's named after a racist. So we got a lot of things to change. So next, I want to bring up our last speaker before we start the march, Hussein of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. And as we march, if the marshals can get into a position so we can have a spirited and brisk march, right? Because today is not the end, as so many other folks have said. So give it up for Hussein.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me? So my name is Hussein. I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation, and it's great to see everyone out here because, you know, as we all know, it looks almost certain that Joe Biden will win, and we're in an unprecedented sort of situation in the United States, at least since 2000, right? Where the sitting president is not only not conceding, but he's all but claiming victory as well. And he's manufactured this narrative of voter fraud, and we're all out here today because we know that's a lie and the opposite is true, right? That this is a calculated and widespread campaign of racist voter suppression, right, in the South and urban areas with predominantly black and brown voters, and so on. So, I mean, in Georgia and Florida, I think in particular, highlight this point that 2 times the mail-in ballots, the rejection rate of mail-in ballots for black and brown voters in Georgia and Florida are 2 times that of whites, right? And in North Carolina, it's 4 times that of whites. But I think one thing that's missing from the narrative, from the mainstream media, is why was the election so close, right? Why was the election so close at a time when in the last 8 months, because of COVID-19, 230,000 people have died because of criminal government negligence, right? We saw in other countries with far less resources, not even 10,000 people died, right? China, over 1 billion people. How many people died? I think less than 6,000. Cuba, on the order of hundreds. Vietnam, just under 10. Yet in the United States, in the richest country in the history of war in the world, 30,000 deaths because of COVID, and as a result, mass unemployment, a looming eviction crisis, and over the summer, national rebellions against racist